On behalf of the Educator Effectiveness Committee, I call this meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Appel, Dr. Armstrong, not present. Mr. Birkin, Mr. Castile, Ms. Champagne, Dr. Clark,
Here.
Mr. Harris, Mr. Hollis, Ms. Holloway, Ms. Mellerine, Mr. Morris, Ms. Altier. We have a quorum.
First item, please.
Your consent agenda is ready for approval, adding items 2.1, 3.1 through 3.2, 5.1 through 5.13, and 6.12 through 6.13.
Can I get a motion? Simone first and Stacy second, because nobody ever looks down to the left. So I am going to look toward the left this committee meeting. I get some gender discrimination down that way. Geographic. Thank you.
Your
Miss-
first item is on page 19, item 4.1, consideration of the recognition of Ms. Kylie Altier, 2024 Louisiana Teacher of the Year, for her service on the Bessie Educator Effectiveness Committee, and the introduction of Ms. Elise Boutin, 2025 Louisiana Teacher of the Year. The recommendation is to recognize.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of the Educator Effectiveness Committee, oh, I'm sorry, I need to make a motion. See, I was so excited. Look down there. Sandy, one. Stacy, two. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Joni Lacey. I'm the Talent Project Director on the School System Relations team, where I manage the Teacher and Principal of the Year programs. I'm grateful to be here today to share some information about two exceptional Louisiana teachers who happen to be Louisiana's 2024 and 2025 Louisiana State Teachers of the Year. And I'll start today by introducing Mrs. Kylie Altier, Louisiana's 2024 State Teacher of the Year. Kylie is a first grade teacher at McKinley Elementary School in Baton Rouge. She earned her Bachelor's of Science in Early Childhood Education from Florida State University and her Master's of Elementary Education from Stephen F. Austin University. She believes that all kids deserve to go to school where they feel immensely loved and having learning tailored to their individual needs and passions. Kylie has won over $80,000 in grants to enrich her students' educational experiences. Using these funds, she built a garden complete with a mobile kitchen, incorporated a curriculum employing virtual reality headsets to boost the learning experience, designed an outdoor classrooms for her school, and more. She brings experts into her classroom, which has given her students opportunities to interview a New York Times best-selling author, a perfect 10 scoring collegiate gymnast, curators from the Museum of Natural Science, and more. Kylie has also received many accolades for her efforts while in Texas, including being named Teacher of the Year for her school, district, and region in 2019, and the Mentor Teacher of the Year in 2019 as well. With an unwavering commitment to literacy, she channels her passion to empower children through transformative reading education. Her personal journey as a struggling reader with dyslexia fuels a flexible teaching approach, adapting daily learning to cater to the unique needs of each child. Now, through Louisiana's Public Interest Fellowship, she is bringing the same passion into the homes of families as they teach their children to read. She has been a campus-wide leader at every campus she has been a part of, starting an extracurricular garden club, co-founding an after-school reading program where high schoolers mentored emerging reading, spearheading campus-wide reading intervention, and leading professional development. When Kylie isn't teaching, you can catch her cheering on LSU sports with her husband and children. Please help me welcome and thank Louisiana's 2024 State Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Kylie Altier.
No, don't do it. I can't try it. Thank you. It is too soon for me to cry, and I do want you to know Joni told me to keep this really short, so if I go long, it is not her fault. It is mine. She is the world's best teacher cheerleader, so you guys have a rock star team. But But I have been crying all night trying to just like encapsulate how much this year's meant to me, so I couldn't shorten it anymore. So I'm sorry you have to listen for a few. But before I begin expressing my immense gratitude, I just want to take you back to my mindset when I moved to Louisiana. And I've been told by a few people, don't make yourself sound too bad, but the truth is that I was a broken teacher. And despite dreaming of being a first grade teacher since I was in first grade, I was doubting myself constantly and balancing a baby and a toddler and my students. I was wondering if I could maintain teaching any longer if it wasn't 100% of my identity like it had been before. Was I still a good teacher without all the prep time I had before motherhood? And was I truly even making a difference as a teacher? And when I stepped into my classroom here, I was a different teacher. No fancy decorations or elaborate plans, but my students quickly showed me, you are enough. And when I began reaching out to experts in Baton Rouge who brought tortoises and hissing cockroaches and materials for architecture projects and even drones to explore nature, I felt a new message being told. I thought I had traded magical learning experiences for low prep, high impact routines, but this community showed me that I could have both. They said, you are not alone. And as I stood in my classroom with a whole new perspective on what it meant to be a teacher, filled with hope that Louisiana had given me, I got a call from the LDOE who sent me a new message. You said, you are excellent. And for the first time in my life, I believed it. And then this Bessie board offered me a seat at your table. And while a year later, I still feel myself physically shaking with nerves being at this table, I'm forever grateful for each moment I've had right here. On my first day at the LDOE, Dr. Brumley, after listening to me pour my heart out on all my dreams of education, pulled me aside and said, I would love to know all of the bureaucratic things that are slowing you down. What is making your job harder, and how can I make it easier? And him asking this question is a question that teachers across the nation are begging to be asked. And it had just meant so much that he was asking that question. It would lead us down a path to do some work together this year. And then I think back to the first meeting when Mr. Ronnie Morris asked if I had time to stay an extra 5 minutes after the meeting. And I was so scared I had done something wrong. I didn't say here right or what I had done. But he actually just wanted to hear all my thoughts on education and what I thought might make it more meaningful for kids. When Mr. Kevin Birkin pulled me aside to tell me he was really looking forward to hearing what the Let Teachers Teach work group came up with, it showed me that he was passionate about the work too. And I think back to the longest and the most words I spoke at this table. I was so nervous, and I used my very first analogy in my writing. And Dr. Sharon Clark at the end said, that was very well said, after I spoke about the policy recommendations. And while each of these moments and so many more I've shared with you all may have felt incredibly small for you, you might not even remember them. For me, they meant the world. And I've gotten a lot of questions in these last few months about what's next. And for me, the answer has never been clearer. When I attended space camp, they told us about something called the overview effect. And it's like after astronauts go into space and they see the Earth from space, they do these brain scans, and their brains are literally like noticeably, profoundly shifted from having seen the view. And it's characterized as these feelings of awe and interconnectedness and a sense of responsibility toward the planet. And I feel like in so many ways, this has been an overview effect for me. I've seen the education system way zoomed out, and more than anything, it has given me the most intense love and amazement for my classroom. For it is the work that happens there that teachers are doing that changes the world. And while I will never stop using my teacher voice that you all have lifted up with me this year, I'm so sorry. There will never be a more important, soul-filling, or rewarding, or even just fun job than being a teacher. So if I can leave you with anything, I just want you to know that the work that you're doing in highlighting teachers and giving them a seat at your table is so much more than a trophy or a title. You are telling teachers they are worthy, they are valued, and they are powerful. And the most beautiful part is that when you are doing that, we can pour all that love right back into our babies, and they're our nation's future. So with that, it is one of my greatest honors of the year to introduce Elise, your 2025 Louisiana State Teacher of the Year, who, if I can just insert my own word about her before I read her amazing bio that truly empowers, or just is her to me, is that powerful piece. So she is coming in powerful and ready for you, and I'm so excited for her to be at your table. So, Elise Boutin, our 2025 Louisiana State Teacher of the Year, is a senior English and publications teacher at Rain High School in Acadia Parish. She earned a bachelor's degree from the University of Louisiana at Lafayette and a master's degree in teaching at McNeese State University, and is working on her graduate certificate in professional writing at UL Lafayette. That's right, she's doing it right now as State Teacher of the Year. She's also in school. And teaching, so she's doing it all, and being a mom. After teaching for 14 years, Boutin believes that connecting curriculum to experiences is the most important aspect of teaching students to become lifelong learners. Boutin revived the Rain Alive program, a student-produced YouTube channel where students have worked with crews from Lafayette News Station, and they have even met celebrities, and they have created intros for episodes. The program has built a culture on the campus and within the community and helps students recognize the opportunities that exist on campus in the area. Boutin started a senior project fair for students to feature their capstone projects in the areas of academics, career, and community service, where community members and business owners can walk through the fair and meet the students. She also connects students to the community activities through sponsoring the Interact Club, which directly works with the Rain Rotary Club. And Boutin also started the cross-country team, and runners participate in meets and 5Ks and are welcomed by the local running community. Students leave her classroom prepared for their next step and are ready to be a liver, a lesson that reminds you to do what's right for yourself, even when no one else gets it. So please help me in welcoming your 2025 State Teacher of the Year.
We're going to very quickly take a break and do a photo with Ms. Altier, and then we'll be able to.
Thank you.
May I?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment, and I am not going to cry, Kylie, but I will say, we've had some amazing Teachers of the Year in the state of Louisiana who have done incredible work, but it really was an honor to be able to work alongside you this year to do some really amazing things to lighten the burden on teachers across the state of Louisiana. And to have you leading that work, I was always able to say, look, you know, I'm the state superintendent of education, but our Teacher of the Year is leading this very important work. And I am so eternally grateful for for the work that you did to lift the education profession this year, and taking on such a big piece of work that is making such a difference and will continue to make a difference in Louisiana classrooms, but not just here. I mean, it is, I am getting questions about this work from across the country. Just yesterday, I received an email from a state commissioner in a different state wanting to know how they could emulate some of the Let Teachers Teach work in their state. And so you did great work of profound importance, and you truly have impacted the profession. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Before we move on to our second item, Ms. Holloway would like to make a presentation, an announcement. Oh, I'm sorry, Elise. You want to? Okay. So we'll continue with you, and then we'll go back. We'll move on to Ms. Holloway afterwards. Sorry.
I just want to say I have very big shoes to fill. So I'm very grateful that Kylie gets to be my mentor into entering this work. I feel I have a lot to learn from you as well, and I just really look forward to being able to continue to be a voice for the teachers and students in this state. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, and congratulations to you. Now, Ms. Holloway.
Thank you. It's a point of personal privilege again, but we do welcome today my daughter, Simone Guidry, who is an executive director of Little Arrows Learning Center. So I'm so proud of her, and thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 85, item 6.1, consideration of executive session regarding discussion of the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of a person. The recommendation is to convene executive session.
Can I get a motion to go into executive session? Lance and Ms. Simone. Is there any public comment or board discussion prior to us going into executive session? In order for this motion to pass, 2/3 affirmative vote of members present is required. May I have a roll call vote at this time?
Mr. Appel? Yes. Dr. Armstrong? Not present. Mr. Birkin? Yes. Mr. Castile? Yes. Ms. Champagne? Yes. Mr. Harris? Yes. Mr. Hollis? Yes. Ms. Holloway? Yes. Ms. Mellorine? Yes. Mr. Morris? Yes. Dr. Clark?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
At this time, I will advise the audience that we will be going into executive session for the length of time necessary for our discussion. No votes will be taken during the time that we are in executive session. All votes will be made in public. Additionally, public disclosure is not required for matters discussed in a properly held executive session. At this time, the Educator Effectiveness Committee meeting stands in recess to go into the executive session. To reconvene the Educator Effectiveness Committee meeting and continue with the regular order of the agenda to vote on the items discussed in our executive session. Motion made by Kevin, second by Ryan, Mr. Morris. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 86, item 6.2, consideration of a records review regarding the issuance of a Louisiana teaching credential appropriate to the credentials of Ms. Allison Alessio. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
May I get a motion?
Motion.
Ms. Holloway first. Mr. Preston, is that your hand? Are you just touching your head?
You want to go in global? Yes, I'm going to move to approval of 6.2 through 10. Motion to approve. To grant, I'm sorry.
To grant, yes.
Any objection?
Next item.
Hearing none, the motion passes. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 249, item 6.11, consideration of a...
Madam Chair, do we need to speak to item J?
She's about to talk
which would be 611.
That's the one I'm doing right now.
She's about to do it now.
Okay, thank you.
Item 6.11, consideration of a records review regarding the reinstatement of a Louisiana teaching credential appropriate to the credentials of Mr. Willie Williams. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
May I get a motion, Ms. Champagne? And
I have a motion to deny.
can I get a second?
Second to deny.
One second.
Mr. Morris? Any questions or comments? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes. Next item,
All right,
please.
that concludes your agenda.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.